Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Final Show Films. I'm Sen, your executive producer. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I particularly want to thank our $25 tier supporters over at patreon.com/fsfilms. Those being Jeremy Alexander, Samantha Waterflame, sorry, Samantha Bates, Cat Waterflame, as I've mixed up all my names, and the Shard System. Thank you all very much for your support over the years. And those of you that are watching live, please sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Gag on a
And
cup.
we're live with that.
Please tell me that made it in.
It did, absolutely.
Amazing.
Excellent.
They're nothing but class.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Wrath and Glory Under the Steel Sky. I am William Orshani, and I am your storyteller, game master, whatever you want to call it, for this Wrath and Glory campaign. Joining me today, we have Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Remy Mera. He hates everything right now because everything is horrible.
Everything is pain. And Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm playing Laura Elfire, the Eldari Corsair, and she hates everything because she's better than everything.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Tina, an orc pilot. She loves everything.
And Sen.
I'm Sen. I'm playing Saris Artinos, who hates the fact that our glory resets to 0 every session, but Ruin doesn't.
That's because Ruin
Really?
resets to the number of players every session.
Oh.
Oh.
That's still significantly higher.
Wait a minute. Are you asking for parity and fairness in Warhammer 40? I don't know anything about this system or setting. Even I know that one.
Just you can hate something without an expectation that it's going to change, Jeremy. Look at the American governmental system.
God damn it! I knew you were gonna go there.
And Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Aristarchus Dactyl, tech adept of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and he's just curious about everything.
And Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm playing Blair Hart, Ganger Scum, and she has equal levels of love and hate for things.
And Austin, who is playing our guest character, Garrison, will not be joining us this week. We'll probably be coming back next week, assuming everything is going better. But when last we left off, the party had... Well, one of the party had been present at the collapse of a significant portion of the Underhive.
Ow.
Two of the party.
Two? I was just outside the door.
Yeah, two of the party have been present at the collapse of a significant portion of the Underhive, one of which fell a long distance under rubble. The other one jumped after them.
One of the two was significantly more present.
The rest of the party eventually arriving on the scene and trying to discover what had happened and who had caused it. With Remy having been directly adjacent to the mysterious individual known as I forget the names of my own bad guys for a second.
There's Tycho.
As Tycho, known as Tycho, and the mysterious psyker known as Janaea, whose name was only garnered in that conversation. But after being picked out of the rubble, Remy and one of the members of the Hostile Hearts, who had also been injured in the fall, were brought to the Digtinka tribe's camp in the base of the Underhive, where they were names are really fleeing my head right now.
Uh-oh.
Liara or Liana or something like that.
Liana, where Liana, I think, was the name that I gave her. I don't write this shit down.
That's our job.
That would be why
I feel you on that.
where Liana was treated, but Remy refused to be so.
Oh no, it was Layla.
Layla, that was the name. Where Layla was treated, but Remy refused to be so. Um, the trio was given a large buggy, not quite a truck, not quite a buggy, to bring to take with them to head back up to the surface as a borrowed lift from Big Mech Dig Tinka himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the earth, that man.
Where they made their way over to try and find the rest of the group who was heading down to the base of the Underhive to try and find them. At which point, when they met up, the loud noise and presence of the buggy appears to have attracted not only a group of like mutated Underhive wild dogs, but also the thing that was chasing them towards you, which appeared to be an ambull, a very large insectile monstrosity that any of you who are familiar with it are fairly certain you do not have big enough guns to really penetrate its hide, which led to the group attempting to flee in said buggy. And we pick up there. Can I have everybody roll your objectives? As I remember to do.
Yes.
Also, Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, and this stream is powered by Sirenscape.
There we
And
go.
also, no, I don't want.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how to delete it, and I can't.
I'm banning first, and then I'm deleting.
Okay, yeah, that was banning deletes.
Banning just deleted it apparently.
Oh yeah, if you ban a bot from your channel, it deletes all their posts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't opening up. The mod tools weren't opening up for me, but you got it. So
yeah, I always go into the dashboard just as. Funny enough, I had just gone in.
Yeah, sorry. I just got back and I noticed that somebody was offering us chatbot purchases.
Nah,
so,
hard pass.
What's our objectives for this session?
Mine hasn't changed. I'm going to reminisce about a Forge world I've visited and compare it to our current location.
Oh yeah, I should do that.
Demonstrate the wisdom of one of your clan's traditions.
Well, you're about to do that real quick because the traditions of the Evil Sons are go fast.
It's a proud tradition.
I need to apply my criminal experience to the current situation.
Aren't you former like law enforcement?
Yeah, but also criminal experience at the moment.
I mean, that's fair.
Wait, are you saying, Jack? Are you saying that former law enforcement officers cannot be involved in crime?
No, I was wondering when did you just really lean all the way into the bit and start committing to that? I'm still trying to form
when I said
concept of Remy's background.
When I said I'm basing my character off strange days.
My objective
I heard real life, but maybe that's just me.
My objective is to establish my authority using a symbol of office. Does this gun count as a symbol of office?
At this thing. That'll make it go away.
Show it what's under your eye patch. It'll be fine.
Employ knowledge you learned from an earlier path of your life to the current circumstances.
Decry the violence and villainy of authority.
What did you do in response to me establishing my authority? Obviously.
Give me a
but as we pick up with this, we now begin our chase scene. As a measure of how this is going to work, the ambull is not necessarily as fast as the vehicle, but the vehicle is going to have to try and avoid everything in the hive here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a series of challenges of each of you trying to do something to damage or slow down the ambull that is currently chasing your vehicle, or try and build a lead between you. And this will keep going until either the ambull is somehow incapacitated, or you have built enough of a lead that you can effectively lose it. And we're going to start with the ambull, because I'm going to spend a ruin here. As the ambull reaches up as the vehicle takes off. The amble, sort of this massive chitinous insectile beast, looking sort of like if you crossed a silverback gorilla with like a horned beetle, with massive clacking, or like an umber hulk with massive clacking mandibles, and these enormous claws with these like maggots, like other insectoid maggot creatures that sort of just latch onto it as if symbiotes. It sort of digs up the dirt with its claws as it pushes forward and rips up a piece of infrastructure from the ground, leaning forward and hurling it like a boulder sling at the vehicle as it tears off. I'm gonna need Tina to make me a piloting check to avoid an incoming projectile.
Okay. Here we go.
Your DN is going to be 4.
All right.
Letters.
Well,
Nice.
that's 8.
You make it. You make it. Would you like to shift those two 6s you've got?
Heck yes. Can I get a lead from that? Can I shift 1 into giving us a little bit of a head start away from this thing, and 1 into glory?
Absolutely. So you've shifted 1 into glory, and so as you look over your shoulder and see it ripping up the ground to try and throw at you, you decide to take this as an opportunity, and you hit the big red button right next to the pilot seat.
Excellent.
There's which activates the nitrous in the engines, and there's just a burst of flame out of the back exhaust pipes as the vehicle guns and the front wheel lifts off the ground for a second before slamming back down. Remy, this hurts like hell as you're slammed into your seat.
Yep.
Hang on.
But the vehicle passes directly under the crashing boulder, which then digs up dirt and actually creates an obstacle in the amble's path as it attempts to close on you. Who would like to do something now?
I'm on the gun. I'd like to shoot it.
All right. Go ahead and roll me a ballistic skill attack.
Not to be an asshole, but does that gun point backwards?
Oh, it does. It's on a pintle mount.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Because I feel like it had been described as sort of nailed to the side, so I wasn't sure if it had a swivel on it.
There are 3 seats in this buggy. There's a driver's seat, there's a secondary seat, and then there's the gunner seat, which is behind it on like a raised platform with the gun.
Okay.
With the gun on like a standing mount that can be like turned around.
Sweet.
And then you have Garrison and I who are just hanging on with our body parts for dear life.
And these are seats sized for orcs, so a couple of people can fit in each seat.
Contemplating kicking Garrison's hook to leave some bait behind, but instead I'm just going to fire.
Your target is going to be the creature's defense, which is 3.
Okay, I'm going to spin that glory for a bonus dice.
And you are attacking with a big shooter.
So take that glory back down to 0. Give me bonus dice. Roll 3. And get a glory.
That would hang on a minute. There's going to be a thing because the big shooter has the whoa special rules. We have to figure out what that was.
What does it apply when not an orc is shooting it?
Yes, that's the question. That's the question: is if it's just good for orcs or if it's also bad for non-orcs. If you are an orc, gain +1 bonus die to attacks with a wah weapon. If you are wounded, you gain the attack to an extra +180. It's okay. It does not have a downside if you're not an orc.
Cool.
Okay.
So 3 is exactly what I needed to hit.
That is exactly what you needed to hit. Also, roll me a d66 because that is a critical hit.
Oh, right.
6s. Yep.
Nice.
Eh?
143?
How is that possible with a 60?
Oh, hang on. I don't. Sorry, hang on.
I'm very
There were
confused right
numbers.
now.
There
Yeah.
were numbers applied, so it would just be 43.
43.
There were modifiers that the sheet said weren't being applied to it that were being applied to it.
Where is my critical hit table? 43. Vicious vivisection. The Furion's blow causes horrific pain, dissecting the pieces of the foe's body in a scene of carnage and gore. Target suffers 1d3 mortal wounds, and for every glory you spend, the target suffers an additional mortal wound.
I'll spend that 1 glory I just gained to give it an additional mortal wound.
So first off, we need to figure out. So the critical hit only actually takes effect if the weapon manages to deal damage to it. So we need to figure out if this thing can do so. The
Big shooter stats?
The resilience of the amble is 12.
Yikes.
So we need to see the big shooter. The big shooter does exactly 12 damage plus 2 extra damage dice with no AP. So you need to roll those 2 extra damage dice, and if you manage to get any damage through, then the critical hit effect goes off.
So I'm just gonna hang on. Big shooter. 12 with 2 extra dice.
Yep.
$15.
Hey.
You get 3 damage in baseline, which then does trigger the critical hit effect. So they suffer 1, and you're spending that glory. So they suffer 1d3 plus 1 mortal wounds on top of that.
Nice.
That sounds like something that's good. So yay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's good for us.
Sure.
2 mortal wounds basically are just wounds that can't be soaked and go straight through their armor.
Yeah.
So is very good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, mortal for those who are unfamiliar with the combat system, mortal wounds are essentially unmodifiable, unpreventable, just wounds that will go through unless you have some kind of special rule that will let you soak mortal wounds.
Like an
They ignore your armor, and they ignore your armor, and you normally can't roll determination to try and soak them, unless you have something special. So yeah, there are 3 damage goes through normally, and 2 more, so that's 5 wounds that are inflicted to this amble.
So, just grits teeth, sets face in a determined grimace, and just starts unloading on it from the gunner seat.
And yeah, as you
unload, breaking off and flesh flying.
As you unload into this creature, you can see the most for the majority part, this massive machine gun that fires bullets the size of your fist. Most of them just spang off of this thing's massive carapace, but some of them find joints in the armor or cracks, and there are explosions and bursts of gore as it punches through some soft spots in the armor. Mostly getting effective by volume of fire, but something is being done to it, and the damage does apply.
Nice.
Who would like to go next?
I would.
All right. What are you planning to do?
So I have a question. How far actual distance is this thing from us?
I'm going to say it is about, because the distance is mostly measured in units of space because of the speed value. We're going to say probably about 10 at the moment.
So 10 meters. Okay.
That's real close.
Yeah. I was going to use something, but I think instead I'm going to switch to. Oh, that'll be medium range. How does medium range affect my shuriken pistol?
It doesn't.
Okay.
Medium range is the expected normal range. Short range, you get a +1 die for a bonus, and at long range, you suffer penalties.
Actually, no. I will. I'll use my las blaster in full salvo.
You're going to empty the weapon to try and get some extra dice?
Yeah.
All right, so add the weapon's salvo rating as bonus dice, and you will empty the weapon in your firing pack.
Nice.
That is enough to hit it.
Okay.
You got at least one that you could shift if you wanted, I think, right?
Yeah, you'd shift that one
Shift
for
that,
extra
you can-
damage.
You can shift
Yeah,
it for
I
extra
will shift
damage or for glory.
Extra damage. So then I put 1 in my DVD.
Yes.
Come on, you got this.
Go ahead and roll the damage.
Oof.
Does the last blaster have any AP? No, I'm assuming.
No, not a las blaster.
Mm-mm.
No, it does not.
So the weapon just sort of drills into the carapace, and just there's a hole there, but like it just sort of lights, it warms up a portion of its carapace, but it doesn't appear to be strong enough to deal any real damage to it.
Okay, then we will reload for my simple action.
You would have to get.
You'd have to get 5 extra damage on top of the base damage of the gun to try and
Yeah,
actually
so
pierce through
on
and
your
deal one
you'd have to
wound.
get 5 exalted icons on your roll that you could shift in order to shift enough extra damage to do even a point of damage to it.
Not
Las
impossible.
blaster.
Not impossible. It's very unlikely. Okay. Laurel is going to start thinking of ways to deal with this other than just killing the thing.
Probably a good idea.
Do you have the smite psychic ability?
I do, and that's the next turn.
It deals mortal wounds.
It's a real good one.
So, who would like to try something next?
Can Aristarchus try and see if he can figure out any way to make this vehicle do better? Either make it like give it a boost on speed, make sure that it's going to be better to maneuver, or if God Emperor forbid we take damage, that it's sturdier, something.
You're gonna try and make improvements to a vehicle while it's in operation on the fly.
Sure,
as Xenos
that
technology?
seems like a normal thing for a Mechanicus to try and do. Why not?
All right, roll me a DN5 tech test.
Okay.
Great.
Nope.
You want to
Would
reroll?
you like to use one of your wrath
wrath.
to re-roll that?
Yes.
Hey,
There you
There
go.
you go.
9.
Total of
4 exalted.
The total on the right is the complete total with everything.
Yeah.
So with that, you have 2 exalted icons that you can shift.
And for shifting, that could be improve quality. I don't think this is a place where getting information is going to be helpful. Yeah, I'll shift 2 for improved quality.
I mean, you're always curious. You could always ask me a question about Orc Tech if you wanted to get information.
Yeah, he's actually, weirdly enough, not focused on Orc Tech right now. He's focused on the Amble and the fact that it is literally... He could throw a rock and hit that thing. And he can't throw rocks very far. So, yeah.
Well, a mechanic is not interested in technology. Sounds like heresy to me. So, yeah, you're going to improve quality twice?
Yes.
So, I will say that this essentially qualifies as gaining some extra lead. As Aristarchus sort of pulls up a back panel on the side of this machine and starts to these wires don't make any sense. They're not even connected to anything. What the fuck ever. I'll just follow whatever this logic seems to be. And starts to maneuver wires around and starts to plug things into other things. And
they're not color coded. It's like you just are making a rainbow sort of situation.
You unplug all the ones that aren't red.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you make it go faster. Is you get rid of the opposite color.
But you find like there's a rudimentary power supply cable that definitely seems to be at least functioning as a power supply. So you sort of
just push everything into that.
Yeah,
splice it all together, bitches.
You rapidly tear out some of this junk wire and plug it directly into the power line to try and reinforce and provide more flow. And immediately the engine roars even louder than it already was, and gains an amount of extra speed.
I don't know what you did, but good job.
Thanks, I think.
Blair and Remy are the last two to act in this turn. What would you two like? What would either of you like to do?
Blair would like to attempt to shoot this thing.
All right, roll me an attack with one of your guns.
Some of us don't have technical skills. All we have is shooting.
All we can do is the murder.
You hit it. You won't be able to shift anything because all you have are the exalted icons, but roll damage. Yeah, your auto gun just kind of cracks across this thing's armor and does not appear to find any purchase.
How open is the area that we're driving in?
There's plenty of debris. Like you are driving through
also,
the base of the Underhive.
The stream is powered by Sirenscape.
Oh, Johnny
Oh
did that
right,
already.
yes. As I had failed to turn the music on. Thank you.
Fair.
I was making it true. That's why I had to say it.
I see.
But yeah, your bullets don't appear to be able to puncture this thing's hide. If you want to try and like slow this thing down, you're going to need to find something other than shooting it. But yeah, this is a very cluttered place. Like, as I'm sort of glossing over it a little bit, but Tina is definitely doing a significant amount of
Weaving in and out
just to try and move, just to keep the vehicle from crashing into some of the random like debris. And again, a significant portion of the hive crumbled in this area recently. There's a lot of, even more than usual, there is piles of debris and masses of like open steel and rubble everywhere. And even before that crash, this place was a labyrinth.
Look, I don't want to tell anybody their jobs, but maybe if the guns aren't poking holes in whatever this thing is, you can use them to knock shit down and get it in its way?
But my guns are poking holes.
That's why he's not telling
It's 'cause
anybody
it's an
else
orc.
their job.
Blair will just give Aristarchus a death glare.
Which he does not see because he's back down on the wires.
Meanwhile, the amble goes. And
Remy?
Remy?
Sorry, Remy. Yeah, sorry, Remy.
Remy is staying where he is and saying, "Go faster! Go faster! Go faster!"
So encouragement, sort of.
Remy's our
That is the
cheerleader.
entirety of Remy's turn.
All right.
Excellent.
And you know what they say, save the cheerleader, save the world.
Yeah. Is there a?
Yeah,
there a
If I
help
can
action
offer
in
the
this?
deepest of cuts.
Is that really that deep of a cut?
I will PayPal any of my fellow cast members besides Jeremy $2 if they can name what that reference was.
Heroes.
Oh, yeah,
I
hero.
was gonna say.
Okay. I owe you both
yeah.
$2.
Go ahead and roll me leadership, Remy.
Okay.
There you go.
I was gonna say there's a help action in this system.
1.
Go, guys.
You're definitely
Just
you're
grabbing
definitely
on
yelling.
tightly to like this side of this fucking glorified dune buggy.
Yep.
Ah, yes. The help action.
Faster, faster, must go faster.
The amble goes, and for those of you who are looking at it, you see its body sort of glow briefly, and all of these polyps around it, and you see the maggots that sort of symbiotically climb all over it begin to emit like a visible low end radiation as the wounds on the amble begin to rapidly regenerate and seal themselves. As its rad maggot symbiosis causes it to regain 1d3 lost wounds. It gains one more wound. It gains 1 wound back.
Can you regain mortal wounds?
Yes.
Okay.
Mortal wounds just sort of bypass all of your defenses. They're not impossible to heal.
All right. Well, that's good to know.
Jeremy, your housemate says that you need to hire them to kit bash and paint Remy. I'm not sure why, when it's a Hero Forge figure, you could just order it.
Amazing.
No, he likes to. That's his thing.
100.
Hi. Hi.
There you go.
He yelled through the wall.
Yeah.
But as it does that, as you look at it, the amble digs its claws into the ground and disappears as it seems to sink beneath the surface of the earth.
Ooh.
You hear rumbling beneath the ground as it rapidly tunnels its way under the ground. And there's a off to your right as it emerges from the earth, sending a spray of rubble flying in everyone's direction as it busts open a wall that is sitting nearby and just smashes it towards you as rubble falls in the path of the vehicle and rains down on the group. I need everyone to roll me a real quick agility test to try and dodge falling rubble.
Just straight agility.
Oh dear. Okay. Well.
Oh, I got a wrath,
Oh, so did I.
but 3.
Oi! No stealing my strategies.
Just flat agility, you said?
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That is no successes.
I'm going to spend a
Oh yeah.
wrath to make that 3 successes and a glory.
There you go.
So this is because this was just a reactionary test. I'm not going to gain a bunch of ruin off of you guys, but
I was gonna say so
Okay.
much ruin.
Oh, good.
Remy, you managed to duck and use the buggy for cover as rubble pelts down around you.
With my
Tina,
0 successes.
no, complications don't detract. They just cause complications. You had 2
Yeah.
successes.
Okay.
Because you had a 6 and a 1 on your 2 dice.
Dope.
There you go.
Tina, you managed to like duck your head a little bit and swerve the wheel to try and
I just
avoid
closed
it.
my eyes. It's dirt. It's dirt. I'm not gonna get sand in my eyes. I'm just gonna close them.
Blair, you managed to lean aside from most of it, and so does Saris, but you don't. But Aristarchus,
Oh yeah.
Laurel also manages to sort of slightly avoid it. So Blair and Laurel take a little bit of this, and Aristarchus just completely fails to try and get out of the way and gets pelted in the face with a rock.
Well, Aristarchus is like face down in the back mechanics of the car, so he just gets buried. Really, it's like, could you do something other than shoot? He gets buried.
So that is going to be a simple 4 damage hit.
My resilience is 4.
So yeah, instead of taking a wound, you take a stun, a shock. You take a shock.
Okay. Excellent. Good to know.
Whereas the other, those of you who sort of partially managed to only would take 2 damage, which I believe both of your resiliences would negate.
Nice.
Aristarchus, you sort of look up and his rock comes careening down at your face and smacks you right in the cybernetics, which are able to take the hit pretty well, but you do get a little shaken up a bit.
Like four LEDs in your vision just go dead.
Rebooting.
But
Yeah,
it does seem to have gained an amount of ground by burrowing a non-direct path ahead of you, going around as the crow flies under the debris rather than having to chase you around it.
Appa.
Anyone want to do anything at close range before I zoom away again? Or
I would like to do a thing.
I also would like to do a thing.
Just gonna whip that shooter around and
No,
point blank this shit.
William, is there something significantly sizable in the way of in the path of the truck right now?
There's probably some rather large debris that could kind of present an obstacle.
Cool. I would like to. Saris is irritated at this point and stops momentarily. Is engulfed in the righteous fury of the Emperor, and as such, without thinking, just reaches a hand out, and her one visible eye flares with a sort of bluish-purple light. As I'm going to use a sail to grab whatever that is in the way and make it that thing's problem instead.
Alright, make me a psychic mastery test against with the target number of this thing's defense, which again is 3.
Wait, one of your eyeballs flashes?
Yeah.
Shit, she's gone full cable!
Exactly. Just like that. So that's 7.
nice.
Ooh, that's a
you
big number.
You needed 3 to hit it, so you got those 2 shifts.
I'm going to shit them
For any-
potency is 1 for +1 ED, so I'll shit both those for 2 extra damage. For 14.
Again, its resilience is 12, so that's 2 wounds to go through.
So yeah, just a large hunk of debris just suddenly lights up with that same purplish blue energy and just launches following her hand, crunching into the side of it as she wheels the gun around to continue raining fire on it.
Each of you feel the drop in temperature of a psyker manifesting their powers. Whenever a psyker begins to wield psychic power, one of the more obvious tells is that the temperature drops, and everything gets a little cold as frost forms on any glass surfaces.
Do we know it's Saris, or can we not tell? I don't know how.
Any of you looking in Saris's direction sees a bright flare coming from one of their eyes as they reach their hand out, and then
Probably
a piece
not.
of rubble.
I said I had my eyes closed.
And then a piece of rubble in the road rips
Also,
itself
she's
up.
behind you.
That too.
And then a piece of rubble in the road rips itself up at her hand's direction and hurls itself at the animal. So anyone looking in Saris's direction can quite clearly tell who is doing this.
But if your eyes were closed, then yeah, you didn't. You just felt.
Yeah, I
felt
don't see
chill.
this. Yeah. Shit.
You drove through some ghosts.
Probably.
Laurel will just look. Noted.
And this would be the first indication that any of you had that Saris has any degree of psychic aptitude. And psychers are known to be incredibly dangerous, either as individuals or just because that psychic power shit does bad things around them, or causes bad things to happen around them.
I feel like this changes nothing for Remy.
Probably
regarding
not,
the situation, because I feel like we, without evidence, probably assumed anyways because that would be the worst case scenario.
Yeah, worst case scenario is this person in front of me who has incredible authority is also a psyker.
Yeah, that makes fucking sense.
Can potentially read my mind, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, that happens. Would anyone else like to do anything?
Laurel would.
What would Laurel like to do?
So, the temperature is going to drop again.
Oh boy!
Eyes go a dark purple and just sort of flare out from the sides of her head. And she reaches out a hand and just fires a smite off.
What does your smite look like? For some psychers, it's a ball of fire. For some, they shoot lightning from their hands. What is your offensive psychic power?
It is a straight lightning bolt. Which is then I have to go do the psychic mastery test against. Brain. Combat. Right? No.
You should have, I believe there's a powers tab, which will probably have your psychic powers in it.
Okay.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
You can shift one of those.
I have to shift 3 for an extra mortal wound, so what else can I shift it for?
If you have enough exalted icons for any of the
the only potency buff for smite is 3 for +1 mortal wounds. So.
Yeah, so if you can't fit any of the potencies, you can also just shift it for an extra glory if you want.
I will shift it for an extra glory for my friends. So then no damage though.
Did it roll anything?
You didn't roll a.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, you didn't roll anything.
But why? Hold on. I might have this keyed in incorrectly.
I believe smite just does
It does a D3.
Oh, it's 1d3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, just 1d3 mortal wounds.
Yeah, just roll a d3.
Ooh.
2 mortal wounds. Amble takes 2 more wounds. So yeah, as the rest of you are watching, there's a slight difference between the two psychic powers at play here, which is that while Ceres' psychic powers definitely sort of bleed out from them in this sort of essence being released, as is the approach of most human psychers, and the effect their soul has on the warp and how they are trained to use it. The training of Eldari psychers is very different. You scarcely sense their presence as they have such massively enforced control over their psychic powers to prevent even a little bit of it from leaking out. But you do, as Laurel raises a hand, this arcane energy builds up in the palm and a bolt of lightning crashes out against the anvil and sends it sprawling for a second as they try to recover.
All right, would like to go next. Okay, I open one eyeball, take one hand off the wheel, and I just wipe frost off the windshield so I can see through it. And then I continue to, and then I floor it. Yeah, just sort of, just sleeve, sort of.
All right, so you are going to go ahead and what we call breakneck speed vehicle action. Roll me a piloting test.
Okay.
You are going to add an extra 2 wrath dice to the mix.
Oh, okay. How do I add wrath dice in there?
So let me pull up your character sheet real quick.
Yep.
Tina.
Yep.
In the skill test.
I know how to add bonus die, but I don't think it's a wrath. Those are wrath ones. Skills page is where.
Yeah. We will just be aware that the 2 extra dice on the right are also wrath dice.
Okay. All right.
And
put 2 bonus in there.
Any result of a 1 on a wrath die will trigger a complication.
Gotcha. All right. Here we go.
Oh right, no, it arranges them in order. Hang on. Let's just see what the. There has actually. You know what? Hang on.
There is not a way to.
Yeah. The only way you would have probably been able to do that would have been to just roll it normally and then roll 2d6.
Yeah. Do you want me to just do that?
Or making it a psychic power. Let's go ahead and just roll it at a -2.
Okay.
At a -2 mod, and then roll the 2 extra dice.
Roll it as okay. I see. So it's
Two-
not
two-
adding.
It's not
dice
extra
to-
dice. It's 2 more of your dice are wrath dice.
Gotcha. Okay. -2. Here we go. There's that. Ooh, there's
boy.
some wrath die already. And then here's 2 more. Are these what dice are these again?
D6s.
D6s. Thank you. That's 2 6s.
Oh, but those
There
are
we go.
glory.
You rolled.
Yeah.
You potentially rolled the exact same thing.
So the difference here is that when you're adding extra wrath dice, the more wrath dice is more dangerous.
Okay.
It's never really a good thing. It's any result of 1 on a wrath die triggers a complication, but all of the wrath dice must be 6s to trigger a critical effect.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Never a good thing.
Right.
What's happening here is you're driving at breakneck speed, which results in more danger.
Okay.
So, 2, 4, 5. So 5 successes, but a complication. So, the engine roars loudly, and the vehicle guns it. The wheels once again lift off the ground for a moment. But the problem is, you're losing a lot of your ability to steer by just gunning the engine. And as you're driving, there comes a point when something in the road comes up you can't quite turn away from. And the vehicle head-on rams it. And the wheels skip off the ground and the vehicle takes to the air.
Yes.
As it ramps off of some of the nearby detritus. I'm gonna need either athletics or from everyone who is in the vehicle to avoid being thrown out of it as it hits the air.
Great.
Okay.
I'm going to need either athletics or something else that you can give me an argument for.
What is our success threshold?
Two successes.
I'm already
Oh, good.
in a mounted turret position. which is theoretically enclosed, and I'm holding on to something.
No, you think orcs have an enclosed turret position?
You described it as being enclosed because it was on like a turret on a spinning mount.
No,
earlier.
it's a back seat. It's a back seat with a gun on a pole.
Of enclosed.
Hey,
I
I'm
just
fine.
went fucking flying.
Don't worry, your pilot's still in their seat, so this is fine.
Oh no.
3
Hi.
successes.
I like to think the fact that Laurel was standing up, like holding on, is the only
Question.
Yes.
Because the only other thing I can think is pilot as well, for the ability to utilize the vehicle to achieve an effect.
Okay. If you want to roll a pilot test to try and take advantage of the vehicle to try and keep yourself from flying
And what's
out.
my DN on this?
2.
2? Well, it's the only thing I might have some sort of... Hey, look, 2!
There you go. We're gonna get you to that dinner, that family dinner yet.
So, question.
Yes.
Can I assail a flying body back into the car?
That's not quite how the effects of a sail work, unfortunately.
I was hoping.
Oh, that would have been delightful.
It's like, you're gonna get a concussion, but yoink!
So, Remy, you rolled a complication.
I sure did.
Oh no.
So, as the vehicle leaves the air, how many wounds did you have left, Remy?
Oh no.
That's a real good question. Let me
Jeremy.
see here.
More than one, because
I'm not so
Ah.
sure.
If I recall correctly, it was you have one
One.
wound left when he woke up.
It was one, but then I believe Aristarchus did some Medicaid.
yeah,
No.
yeah. I thought.
Yeah,
Not anything that healed anything.
Yes,
Was
I
it
did.
was it a failure? Was it a failure? Was the reason? Are your wounds still at 1?
My wounds are still at 1.
They should not be, because I know I restored wounds.
I know you restored wounds on someone, but I don't know if it was if
I
you
thought, you did,
failed.
I
if
thought you did a
failed on-
Medicaid test on. You did a Medicaid test on Laurel. I thought you did a Medicaid test on the
Why would I-
NPC who had a gun attached to their arm to make sure they
Yeah.
were going to die from
Yeah.
it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't remember if you did one. I don't remember. if you
I'm
did one
looking
already.
up through for.
Let's see. Okay, so there are
Medicaid.
2 Medicaid tests here. One only got 1 success and was a failure. Another one had 5 successes and had one extra. I am going to assume that the one on Remy was a failure, and that you Medicaid on
That
Layla
sounds
to try
accurate.
and help her out.
Yeah, because it was specifically stated that if she hadn't seen the doctor, she wouldn't have survived for you to medicate her. I remember that. I remember that statement specifically. I think you succeeded on her and you didn't succeed on Remy.
Okay.
That sounds accurate. Because I know I didn't just like, you healed me. Oh well, I guess I'm not going to update my sheet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, as the vehicle leaves the ground and gets a sick amount of airtime, if I'm being completely honest here,
Yeah.
Amazing.
as it just like takes off into the air and begins to arc down. Most of you can grab something to hold on with a death grip. Aristarchus, in particular, literally jams himself between a couple of the seats to use the structure of the vehicle to force him to stay in place. Whereas the 2 people who fail to find a grip in time are Remy, because Remy is in an incredible amount of pain and is not exactly reacting the best.
I was already wrapped around one, so when it went up in the air, you know how like when you get air, you tend to lift up and I let go act just instinctually.
Yeah. And
Oh, no.
and Blair, who was busy opening fire with an auto gun on the target.
I picture instead of holding on to something, she's holding on to the gun
Yeah.
I'm hugging that.
Parker.
And so
Ray's like, exactly how the old witch said I was gonna die.
and so the two of you leave the seats of the buggy as it begins to arc down. And Remy, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but you crack your head as you hit the ground and are blessed with sweet unconsciousness.
At least you won't feel the death.
and then the buggy comes down on me, right?
No, the buggy lands a few feet next to you. And Blair, you sort of roll and tumble into a pile of debris, which manages to break your fall and prevent you from taking any actual damage. But damn, does that hurt?
Am I still holding on to the gun?
Yeah.
That's important. Okay.
Yeah. You're still holding the gun.
All right.
But everyone else, you've lost your fixer and one of your gunner.
Mm-hmm.
How close is the thing?
Just go.
You
Just
built an
fucking go.
amount of distance by throwing things at it and injuring it.
All right. I am as one of the people still standing. I'm going to leap off the car and just let go of the gun, grab my
Tina,
staff.
do you
leap off the
break
car.
or do you just keep going?
I break.
Okay.
Blair is my contact.
Yeah.
Also, Remy's my best friend, so.
So
Congratulations, you've murdered your best friend.
Yeah.
So Tina rams the brakes and the car hard drifts to a halt as Saris leaps out of the back of it.
While leaping, Aristarchus, get your med kit ready.
And so you I'm assuming grab
Yeah, I'm
grab Remy.
grabbing Remy to lug him back to the car.
L'Oreal is hopping off and trying to put herself in between the Amble and Saris.
Right.
She was given one job. She's going to do it until she dies.
Blair, or I'm assuming you get up and try and run back to the vehicle.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna. I'm basically going to dump Remy into the car, and I'm going to start smiting the Amble as it approaches until Blair can get back to it.
So you manage to get everyone back into the vehicle, but it does cost you a significant portion of your loot. As the Amble has significantly closed with you and will get to try and take a swipe at the vehicle itself as you hit the gas to try and take off.
Okay.
You're driving the equivalent of a truck. It's going to try and swing with its enormous claws.
Wait, it's close enough to swing with its claws.
That's a lot of success.
Yeah.
So what's the defense on a truck?
I don't know.
At least 2.
I would assume, probably.
It's on a truck.
So Jeremy, what's your next character?
2.5.
What's all of our next
if I know.
character?
Oh, I'm gonna live, but I might have to walk back by myself.
I don't think you get to walk away from an amble.
It's certainly not a thing many do. So it definitely hits the thing. So it's size, okay. Size categories. Let's do TNT. Okay, so yeah, it hits the vehicle, but it can't really shift anything right now. So it's just going to roll its extra damage dice on its enormous claws.
Oh.
Fortunately, the vehicle is tough enough that it realizes its claws are not quite able to pierce through everything to do some real damage. There's enough junk there that it has a hard time really getting through everything.
Too much junk
does,
in that trunk.
It does, however, thanks to its rad maggot symbiosis, regain 1d3 wounds. It's not getting a lot of wounds off of this right now.
We're doing more damage than it's regenerating, which is the important part.
Yep.
Like I said, I'm smiting it as we're running away.
All right, go ahead and roll me a smite.
So yeah, much less controlled than Laurel's, but there's just this purplish blue lightning strike just coming out of all 5 fingers from Sarah as she throws a hand over at it. We have, just because I really want to shift some stuff if I can. I'm gonna use that glory.
Do it.
Not a hit because I think the DN's 3, right?
Yep.
It's
also a peril of the warp.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll. There we go, 3. So I do hit.
You hit, but you also peril.
Yeah. How do we do peril?
All right, so this is the first time that a Psyker has rolled for perils of the warp. When a Psyker rolls a 1 on the Wrath die, psychic weirdness begins to happen as the warp begins to take an interest in the Psyker's activities. So, you are going to roll a D66. You would normally add an extra 1 to the tens place for every extra Wrath die you use, for every extra 1 you roll on the Wrath die, but you're not unleashing your psychic potential right now, so that's not relevant at the moment.
Right. So just D66?
Yep.
$44.
So a 44, unnatural bloodlust.
Perfectly average.
All creatures within 15 meters of you suffer from a ringing in their ears and taste the bitterness of iron. During the next round, all melee attacks they make gain +1 ED. This also includes the amble.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So everyone with melee attacks, make sure to use them.
Okay. Okay.
That is not what it says.
Shush. Anyways, it's
But
gonna take
as the psychic power reaches out, there's this burning heat in each of your chests as you feel the red hot, unrecognizable source of red hot rage begin to boil up in each of you. You're not certain where it's coming from, but something in you is just angry.
Cool.
In his unconsciousness, Remy is also angry.
That implies he was not angry in the moments before unconsciousness.
I imagine there was very much a son of a crack.
Yep.
Alright, so damage is 1d3. Just flat out 1d3. Very cool. 2 mortal wounds.
Take that one and got back, and then one.
Lightning hits, everyone gets angry.
So, who would like to act?
Already went this turn.
I would like to twitch.
Good thing we're on twitch.tv/Final Show Film.
Well, technically speaking, the amble has gone. This would be the start of a new round, so you can go
Okay.
again if you would like.
Okay.
I would like to go first in Twitch.
Fair enough.
TV/Final
Did
Show
I get to
Films.
go last round at all?
I don't think so.
That's a fair point. What do you want to do?
I want to try and get some hit points back to Remy.
Yeah, that tracks. Everyone else had done their thing when the car crashed, which I was taking as the actions in the round. I forgot that you hadn't actually done anything in that particular moment.
Look,
Okay.
I'm in the least amount of pain that I've been in for a while now.
Yeah, but now you're gonna feel it again. Don't worry. There you go.
Okay.
And this is a regular Medicaid test with another human, so
Mm-hmm. Yup. So...
difficulty was 3.
Mm-hmm. That's what it
That was-
usually is, I think.
That restore, that's the normal one. You restore a wound. I think you can shift 1 exalted icon there.
Right. So that's an additional wound. So 2 wounds restored to Remy.
Remy, you regain consciousness and return to the world of pain.
But the secret is that difficulty is 3 for a human, but Remy's actually a lizard person, and
The conspiracy is real.
All right. Well, you're back with us, you magnificent bastard. Exactly.
How you doing, Remy?
You know, and this is Aristarchus's version of bedside manner. You know, if this sort of incident were taking place on Deimos, even in the lower levels, they've got very nicely engineered thoroughfares, and we'd probably be having a much easier time.
As Aristarchus fulfills his objective.
I fulfilled my objective.
I
Well
gain
done.
another rat.
Well
I
done.
get another rat. Yay!
Um,
All right.
I love the small incentives for like interesting character moments that the objectives provide.
It's good.
All right. So now it's another round,
Yeah,
right?
now it's another
Okay.
round. Everyone can act again. Saris has thrown a smite for the round. Who would like to do something next?
Orel, would you like to do anything in melee before I?
Oh no, I don't have any actual melee attacks. So instead,
Okay.
Laurel is going to say, "Oh, I haven't used this in a long time," and we'll just pull out a plasma grenade.
Fun.
Don't botch this.
aim for the mouth.
Thought I left this behind, and we'll just flourish, pop, and pull and throw.
The flourish was.
This is where
was
you
there a
roll
point to
enough
the
ruins
flourish?
that you threw the pin and held on to the grenade.
If I'm going out, everybody's going with me.
I'm very glad that you
Ah.
brought me to life.
Yep.
There it is.
That's a hit. And in fact, you can shift on that. But it's also a complication.
The plasma
what's-
empowers it.
You're all gonna love my Krieger.
Gonna say, I'm very glad that you made me conscious for this.
What's the
We'll just all come back as Kriegers.
grenade? Plasma grenade. 10 damage, 5 ED, minus 1 AP. Blast 6.
Yep.
So roll me those 5 extra damage dice.
We're right
Also,
next.
do you want to shift that one?
We're right next to them.
I do, so I'll put 6 on my DVD.
Yep.
Or 1 in my D mod, and then
Yeah, so the ED value on the left next to the damage rating is how much the weapon has baseline. And then if you want to shift that for extra damage, put 1 into the DBD.
okay, there we go.
Bonus dice.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It didn't roll the bonus one. Roll me one more d6.
You have to click out of it after you put the one in.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't take until you click out.
Hey!
Oh, nice. 2 more damage. So that's 15 damage, which is 3 more wounds to it.
Oh, minus 1 AP, so...
Yeah, and minus 1 AP, so it's actually 3 more wounds to it.
Yeah.
It is looking pretty bad after that.
It'd be 4 more wounds, wouldn't it? Because 15
No,
minus 11 would be 4.
Yes, you're right. It would be 4 more wounds.
We still have to handle that complication.
However, yes, the blast radius on a plasma grenade is 6 meters, and before the gas was hit, this thing was close enough to hit your vehicle with its claws. So
we're all taking that 15 damage as well.
Oh boy.
roll me a d6. I want to see
Oh gods.
how far you failed to scatter this. Okay,
5?
so it was just on the edge of, you managed to get it to just to the edge of the blast radius. So it'll be much easier for everyone to duck in cover. So
I
dodging.
am more than willing to take the brunt of this blast. I'm just saying.
Mhm. So there's a special thing when people are caught in the explosive radius of blast weapons. You can try and avoid some of the damage by dodging. So I need to really quick look up the blast rules on dodging blast weapons.
Can I interpose myself between Astarchus and the blast so that he doesn't have to fail to dodge?
One second. Area effect weapons. Anyone hit by a blast weapon can attempt to dodge the attack, as detailed in dodging area effect attacks. So, because I need to find that one.
It's detailed in dodging area effect attacks instead of right here where we're telling you can dodge.
Yeah. Okay, it was literally right down the page.
I
Look, it's a gaming book. It does if it was laid out well, it would confuse us.
I'm sorry. Did you mean White Wolf?
Any of them, honestly. Like White Wolf is bad, but let's go back and revisit the L5R book.
Let's not.
Fantasy Flight took it over and changed it and did better with it than the original folks did.
So, you can duck for cover, which will add. Okay, so you get to use a forearm by focusing his face reach to half. You choose the instrument to the end of your turn. 1+1. All right. So everyone can roll me an initiative attribute test. So just your initiative value.
Here's the thing.
Where is that?
What?
On your attributes tab, so it's the farthest left one.
Okay, I am on.
Yeah, initiative is the 4th one down.
That's under agility.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot it. Okay.
Damn, fun.
That's why.
Wow, Jeremy.
That's why. Oh. Well, I
For
had
those
the
who are
opposite
only
thing
listening, I had 2 dice. I rolled no successes and
you rolled snake eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
I got 4.
Because
so I'm fine.
me.
On the other hand, Aristarchus had 1 die. But he rolled a glory. I don't know.
So,
I like that it's the same people who just got launched out of the
Mm-hmm.
exact same.
So, For this, because there is an amble between you, and there is enough space here. Each of you is only going to have to resist half of this damage, and that's one thing, and 2. Each of you can add the number of icons you rolled on that test plus 1. Even if you rolled 0, you can still add 1 to your resilience value for the sake of resisting this damage.
So that's 7 damage we have to resist.
7 that you would normally have to resist, and you can add to your whatever your normal resilience is, the number of icons you rolled on that test plus 1.
So mine would be 9, which is more than enough. But I ask, is it possible for those of us that are still standing to interpose our bodies between the blast and the people that are more injured?
Not in this instance. However, what does that leave everybody?
I take no damage.
So yeah, Saris manages to completely duck.
My resilience is 8. I think that means I don't take any, right?
Yeah, you're good. You take no
Sweet.
damage.
Yeah, it's a stiff breeze.
4, so I took 3.
You would take 3. Would you like to roll determination to try and turn that into shock?
I can try.
What does that put Aristarchus at?
So my resilience is 4.
Plus
So
3.
you would add 3 to it. So you would hit 7, which would mean this explosion would only hit you for a shock.
Which I've already taken 1, but okay. So I just increase my shock by 1?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm at 2 out of 3.
So, Remy,
I rolled 2.
of those 3 wounds, you convert 2 of them into shock, and then you take an extra one for rolling determination. So you take 3 shock.
So I now have
only
0
1 wound.
shock and 1 wound.
Yeah. Congratulations, you're still
I
alive.
am tapped out from everything else.
Listen, I'm just glad I didn't accidentally kill you by trying to be a badass.
No. That would be fucking amazing if you had.
So
I
what
would
did-
be 100% here for it.
So what is that? So where does that leave Laurel and Blair?
Okay, my resilience is 4.
And you rolled nothing, so you add 1 to
Yeah.
it, so it becomes 5. You would take 2 wounds.
Okay.
You can attempt to roll determination if you want.
I have yet to take wounds in this system. How does that work?
So on your character sheet,
On the combat tab,
Mm-hmm.
middle, it has your health.
Mm-hmm.
You lower your current.
But okay, I see.
so there's a button on the right called determination. When you can roll determination, sort of like soaking in World of Darkness to try and absorb damage. You would take 1 shock for rolling determination, and then you can roll the determination dice, and every success turns one of those wounds into another shock.
All right, I will try to do that.
Yeah, I've got 7 resilience natural, so
Okay, so you take 3 shock. You completely absorb the damage. You do turn the 2 wounds you would take into shock, and then take 1 extra for the determination roll.
So I take 4 shock.
Take 3 shock. It was only
I
2
take
wounds,
3. Okay, sorry, making sure. Okay,
which I believe is all of your shock. So you're exhausted
is.
now. So
Yes.
you're exhausted now. But and where does that leave Laurel?
That exalted the glory counts as 2 successes, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that puts her resilience at 9. She's fine.
Cool.
I think because I didn't need my exalted die to or are those? Wait, hang on. I don't think they are. I have 1? Yes. Can I shift that because I didn't need it to soak anything?
This is reactionary.
Okay.
So not really.
Okay,
I enjoy that
thought I'd ask.
the two psychers in the party are two of the more heavily armored characters in the party.
Well, yeah, because look at who your characters are, regardless of being psychers or not.
Right.
It's just it's one of those interesting like oddities because like normally the wizard has the lowest AC, right? But
So all in all, for a plasma grenade going off next to you, you guys came out pretty all right.
That's fine.
I like to think that Remy isn't even making words anymore. It's just sounds.
Yeah, it's constant high-pitched screaming.
I don't know if he has the lung capacity for that right now.
No, not high pitched screaming,
Just a
just like a constant wheeze.
I like
This
more
be
the
a good
the
place to take a
croaking
break.
sound.
yeah.
Yeah. So as I'm assuming, Tina hits the gas and tries to tear off away from this thing.
Not
Those
as
fuckers-
fast as before. Don't want to throw. Apparently, we need to add seatbelts in here. That's one of the great, we. It doesn't come up much with orcs because we just hang on. But apparently, these people need seatbelts.
Motherfucker's doing his best grudge impersonation right now.
Because the best way is to go very fast. But if you can't hang on, then I guess put a seatbelt or something on. So
as Tina tries to take off away from the situation, that's where we'll go ahead and take our break and return to the back half of this chase because this is not going to be lasting much longer one way or another.
Look, if you all die, my secret is safe.
I am super excited for the next plasma grenade or mortar shell that just explodes inside the cabin for no reason. Or
When we take our break, you take your break. So stand up, stretch your legs, move around, do whatever you need to do. Stay tuned with these commercial messages, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. We're back. A dinosaur story.
A dinosaur story.
Way too late.
Actually, it's more of an arthropod, I think, that we're facing.
The dinosaur being the bones of
A crustacean story.
the bones of Remy.
Well,
that
that's
are
only
found
if you're
many
lucky.
years later.
Yeah, that's only if you're lucky.
We just reconstruct Remy's skeleton into a dinosaur.
No, we have to pose him in a funny way so that when archaeologists find him many years later.
Yes.
They were
I am for
roommates.
this. Fucking Weekend
They
at
were
Bernie's
roommates.
me.
Oh my God, they were roommates.
They were roommates.
So Tina,
Yeah.
you hit the gas.
Yeah.
Are you going to drive recklessly or normal amount?
I'm going to drive a normal amount. These
Alright.
people that I've are fragile,
A
apparently.
normal amount or a normal amount for Tina.
A normal amount for Tina, which is
Yeah.
reckless by
Fast.
anyone else's standards. but
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me a piloting check.
Alrighty.
This can only go wrong.
That's a 3.
You build an amount of distance. Who would like to do something next? As I'll reiterate for everyone, the amble is not looking great. It's However, as ambles are wont to, please turn this music off, John.
No, keep it going. I'm for
I didn't know what it was. It just said it's just titled Chase and Alkenstar. So it's like, oh, chase music. In a circus, apparently.
Shani, Aristarchus would, because this thing has been, while it might not have sustained significant damage, it got hit by the amble, and Aristarchus wants to make sure this thing is not in danger of rattling apart and see if he can get some more speed out of this.
Oh yeah, the vehicle is definitely taking some hits.
Mm-hmm.
Because it cannot dodge an area of effect weapon like everyone else can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's fair. Now there's a rattle.
Would that be tech?
Yeah, roll me a tech test.
4.
That's enough to restore some of the damage done to the vehicle. There was a concerning rattle that has not gone away but quieted.
Yeah, let's tie that down if we can.
You'll probably want some more further work done on it later, but it's more stable than it was.
Mhm.
I should note that Layla is still unconscious and has not been flung out of the vehicle only by virtue of having her arm like jammed into a corner.
Yeah. See,
Look,
that arm is that cybernetic replacement is providing ballast. This is perfect.
You are
That's what we need
arguably
to do with
safest
Remy.
when you're unconscious because you aren't tense.
We now just need to shove Remy into a corner or something.
It's a wedge.
Mm-hmm.
So Aristarchus, you help shore up the damage done to this vehicle. Who else would like to try something?
I want to shoot it with my brain.
You've already smited it this
right, I already
time.
did it this turn, right?
Thus far, we've had Ceres smite, Laurel throw a plasma grenade, Tina hit the gas, and Aristarchus do some repairs. So that leaves Blair and potentially Remy if Remy's doing anything other than screaming.
Faster, faster, faster! But not so fast I die!
You're very picky down there.
Yeah.
Are there items that I could potentially shoot to slow this thing down at all, or
Oh,
to
absolutely.
have them land
There's-
on this thing?
There's debris and like ironmongery everywhere. There is absolutely
Alright.
something that you could potentially try and damage to get some work done here.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Go ahead and mong that iron.
All right, then she's gonna go for that. She's gonna try to shoot that so that it gets in its way.
Roll me an attack with one of your guns.
How does
Yeah,
one
it's just
mong
2.
an iron? I really want to know.
You hit a thing. Just roll me the extra damage die on your auto gun.
Okay. Just the regular damage?
Okay, there we go. 9's good. So, realizing that these bullets aren't really going to do anything to try and hinder this creature on its own, you look around and try and spot some loose metal or materials that don't look particularly stable that might be destabilized by a quick barrage of gunfire. And so you look around and find a particularly narrow spot. And you squeeze off a quick burst with the auto gun. And there's a ping and a and a large spar of metal collapses down in the path of this amble. I'm gonna real quick roll something for the amble to see if it can avoid getting smashed.
Aw.
Pretty good. It loses some of the lead that it has, but it does not get smashed by the falling debris. Assuming Remy is screaming, that brings it back as it returns to its turn, and it's going to roll 1d3 wounds. Hey, it gets more wounds back.
Oh.
Oh.
It has doubled its remaining wounds. And it's going to dig into the earth again. As it disappears from sight for a moment, and you hear the rumbling of the ground.
Brace!
Here we go again.
While it's digging in, I'm going to take this opportunity to look around. Are there any in the rubble and ruin surrounding us? Are there any particularly pointed bits of steel girder, like something that might be akin to a spear if thrown at high velocity?
I mean, there are loose bits of iron rebar that could theoretically be considered pointed.
There's
nothing that's like
to fly out of the Jeep into one of those face first.
I'm trying to see if I can find anything that would do extra damage if I used it specifically as an assail target.
Roll me an awareness test.
Any bonuses for us being in the ruins of a hive?
There might have been, but you're kind of at a penalty because you're moving at high speed.
Fair. 2 successes.
So, you managed to spot some particularly sharp looking bits of debris and rebar that you might be able to pull some extra damage out of an assail with. Or at least maybe some armor penetration out of an assail with, rather. When the amble erupts from the ground directly in front of the vehicle, having cut it off in its attempts to turn by taking the straight and narrow path directly underneath it.
Cool.
Tina, go ahead and real quick.
It's like a pine marten.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me a quick piloting test to avoid ramming into the amble.
Or a piloting test to ram into the amble.
Yeah, I have a stupid question.
Would you like to ram the amble?
I mean, it's injured.
Ramble.
Yeah, let's do the stupid thing.
All right.
I'm gonna accelerate into it.
So,
Look, Tina hasn't had a really good opportunity to be a part of the crumping yet, so...
Yeah,
Look at that, Sarah. The spiky metal you were looking for was underneath your feet the entire
whole time.
The real metal
So-
is the friends we made along the way.
So
Yeah.
I throw the truck at it.
if the vehicle physically intercepts a target while moving, you can use your combat action to make a pilot test to ram the target. The DM for the test is equal to the target's defense. So roll me a pilot test versus this thing's defense.
okay. Here we go.
14 successes.
Ooh, 4?
4 is better than 4.
I want to... Yeah.
Spend a rat to
Is that-
reroll.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I haven't spent a wrath yet. Let's try it. And I'm pretty good at piloting, so I think you can do better. 5.
So you would actually just hit the reroll button there on the thing.
Oh,
It just
let me
rerolls
just
the
do
ones
that.
that failed.
Cannot reroll old rolls. That's
Just
fine.
roll me 4d6s.
And understand that
4d6s?
one of them is the wrath
Break
die.
it out into, well, yeah, just pick which one's the wrath die.
The one on the far right.
Last
Alright.
one on the...
Yep.
So, two more
So
icons.
2 more successes. So 6
Yeah.
icons.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll take it.
its defense is 3, so you can in fact shift that 1 die for extra damage. So
Excellent. Will do.
if the test is successful, the target takes damage as if hit by a melee weapon with a damage value equal to the vehicle's maximum wounds. You can shift exalted icons equal to add 1 extra damage die per shifted icon. So you can shift 1 for
Okay.
extra damage die.
All right.
So it's going to roll me a d6 to see if you get any extra damage.
Alrighty.
And you're hitting it with a truck.
Yeah.
It has 16 wounds.
Excellent. 16.
It has a resilience of 12. It takes 4 wounds.
Excellent.
If it hadn't regenerated as many wounds as it did, it would be dead.
Ah!
I would like to introduce it to a bit of spiky debris.
Roll me an assail. I will say that if you're using the sharp bits, you'll get an extra -1 AP on this.
I'm using the sharp bits.
You're gonna kill steal me.
Do we have any glory right now?
Yes.
1.
I'm using it.
But then what am I going to use for my doing nothing?
Ruin, obviously.
No, that's what I'm going to roll.
Hmm. Okay.
4 successes.
You don't generate glory on psychic power manifestation, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
that's enough to hit.
All right, and so
You can't shift anything, unfortunately.
1 AP, and it's
How much damage
10
value?
plus 1 ED.
Sorry, I'll give it 2 AP, which is relevant.
So then 10. So it would be exactly its armor value. Its armor value at that point.
We'll deal it a shock.
Which do we? Does it differentiate between shocks and wounds? Because I know most
It
NPCs
does.
don't.
It does.
Okay.
I would like to smite.
All right. Roll me a smite.
I don't like using the powers this much, but
You hit it exactly.
oh no, hold on, I rolled the wrong one.
I mean, it's
Scroll
the same
down.
test.
It's the same test.
Oh, that's fair.
Hey, but there you
So
go.
go ahead and roll the damage on that. Ooh. We're very close here.
Aristarchus would like to yell for Blair to get on the big gun.
Blair, do you do that?
First, she'll yell back. I'm gonna do it, but don't think I'm gonna do it because you told me to. I was
Yes.
already going to.
It was just a suggestion, Ms. Blair.
She'll get on the gun.
I'm starting to like
Love
her.
it.
So roll me a range attack. Just go ahead and
Question.
roll the attack with your regular gun, and I'll just do the damage to
Does
the big shooter.
does Blair want to salvo? However,
Yeah. Do you want to empty this big shooter, knowing that you don't have any way of reloading it right now?
Yep.
Okay. So the salvo value of a big shooter is fairly large, if I recall correctly. Orc ranged weapons. A big shooter's salvo value is 3, so add 3 bonus dice to this attack.
Okay.
It's the ABD value on the attack roll.
ABD. Okay.
ABD is attack bonus die.
You want to use your wrath to re-roll those, because that
Yes,
will miss.
please. Yes, please.
Do you
Hit the
only have
reroll
2
button.
dice to roll on for your auto?
There you go.
There you go. That's a hit. You didn't. Oh, you click. Roll me 3 more dice because you didn't click off the attack bonus.
Yeah, because it didn't actually roll any damage, any bonuses.
Just roll 3d6s.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
2 more
Okay.
hits.
No exalted icons in there, but
Solid hit.
all right. The damage of a big shooter is 12 plus 2 extra damage dice. So roll me 2 d6s to see if you get any extra damage on this.
One.
It had one wound. It had 1 wound left. Blair, how do you want to do this?
Yeah.
I'd like to blow its head off, if possible.
So, this massive chitinous creature erupts out of the ground, roaring and flailing its claws at the vehicle that then rams itself into its guts, just head on. And as Tina hits it, the vehicle stops. And as Tina puts their foot in the floor, the vehicle's wheels kicking up dust as it tries to push the amble off of its feet to no avail as it just holds the vehicle in place, its mandibles clacking in the orc's face. Saris brings a hand up and forward, and a sharp bit of rebar drives into the amble's shoulder, piercing through, sort of staggering it for a second, but it does not break its grip. And then Blair staggers into the
shoots it with a thing too.
Yes, and Laurel blasting it with a bolt of lightning from her hands, driving back, crisping its hull, but it still refuses to die. And then Blair stumbles her way onto the big shooter in the back of this vehicle, levels it square into this thing's face, the barrel almost touching it with how far it's leaning forward into the vehicle, and just leans onto the trigger. And there's a deafening cacophony of bullets. There's rebounds and recoils, but also impacts, as enough of these bullets punch themselves into the amble's eyes and through its head. And after a moment, it stops moving and begins to tilt to the side and collapses.
And land on us.
That was a real good fight.
All right, well, let's get this thing shifted off so we can get home, eh?
Tina is busy yelling.
Heavy breathing.
Yelling in Orcish, or
Yeah, and just in incoherent language.
Just gonna.
It's just a general bunch of hooting and hollering.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually hopping down off the truck probably go poke it.
Is the carapace of this
Victory.
thing too large for me to throw it?
It is almost certainly too large to assail.
Okay.
Can I take a trophy?
Sure. What would you like to take?
It's like a carapace situation, sort of.
You want to take
like
one of the mandibles?
Yeah, that'll look real nice.
Closest thing to a tooth this thing has.
Yep.
Sarah's just going to take a minute, sort of standing in the back of the truck where she's been standing throwing things, and just going to center herself.
Tina, you sort of reach up and wrench and pull and pull. This thing's mandibles are real tough. Roll me an athletics test.
Okay.
Sarah, so you're right.
I'm fine.
But with five successes, eventually you wrench this thing's mandible out of its jaw. You hold it up, sort of test the weight. It's curved. It's kind of spiky, real durable. You think if you sharpen this up, you can make a nice chopper out of it.
Yeah. I have a bat left now. Okay. I'm really happy.
Aristarchus is getting a tissue sample at least as well.
I'm peachy too. Thanks for asking.
Blair's going over to check on Remy while all this is going on. How you doing?
Uh,
Painkillers are still
I
there,
think
but there's only so much painkillers can do in the amount of abuse you've just taken, Remy.
I've passed beyond pain to where I'm good again. Like,
I've
you
hit that
know
before.
how when you hit that point where everything sensory overloads to you that you just go blind? I feel like my nerves are that way right now. Like there's so much pain, it doesn't hurt. And I feel like that's bad.
Yeah, Aristarchus.
Yes, Miss Blair, what can we do for you?
Can you fix this? She points at Remy.
Is there
We
like
get-
sort of with like one arm that's like compound broken off to the side? It's like trying to flop it over so he can grab a glow stick.
Don't worry, guys. I'm fine.
No, everything's
Aristarchus is his medicadendrite is kind of leaning over his one shoulder as he's using it to mix or contain or distill. It's hard to say. Some of the bodily fluids from this amble. It depends, Mr. Remy. Exactly how experimental are you feeling right now?
Hold on just a sec. Um, explain. Shit, I dropped it.
Well, I've been noticing that this thing has got a bit what you might call regenerative capacity, and there's a chance that I could possibly.
No. You're not gene splicing me with that.
I'm just gonna hook the
Well, we'd have
parasites
to
up
do it
you.
according to.
Oh.
We'd have to be doing it according to the proper rituals anyway, but I understand. And yeah, he'll come over and be and see if he can do anything for Remy.
Roll me a Medicaid test and also a Scholar test, Aristarchus.
Okay. In any particular order?
Whichever order you prefer.
Okay. And would my diagnoster take place on this one? Or
Yes.
is this just a flat? Okay.
Could I ask Laurel to roll a awareness test? Because Laurel did specifically like look
6
over
on the
check in
Medicaid.
on Saris.
Yeah, go ahead.
And
So William, I would say with a 4, Laurel
4 with a glory on the scholar.
Oh, were you trying to re-roll the 1 or? No.
I was re-rolling my scholar.
Got it. Shani, I would say with the 4, Laurel would notice that Saris is holding a stone when she's centering herself, and the markings on the stone.
Yeah. So Laurel, you notice that in Saris's hand is a small, smooth polished river stone. And on it is a Eldari rune, specifically the icon of Ulthwé.
Julia has no idea what that means, but Laura, well,
Ulthwé is one of the Eldari craft worlds.
Mm.
Specifically, the home of some of the more famous individuals within the Assyriani framework, including one Eldrad Ulthran, a particularly famed Farseer who is known to have his hands in a significant amount of the dealings of the galaxy. But with the scholar test, Aristarchus, as you start to examine the corpse of the Amble, you're pretty certain that the Amble's regenerative process is a factor of symbiosis. The maggots that crawl all over its body and have started to disperse since its death appear to emit a low-level radiation, which fuels the regenerative properties of the Amble's physiology. So it's
we're definitely grabbing a few of those, especially if any of them are still alive.
A few of them.
So after centering herself and putting that stone away, she's gonna shift over to where Blair and Remy are in the truck, crouched down. On the matter of this battle, she says as she reaches up and pulls the eye patch off of her face. When she pulls the eye patch off of her face, you see that the eye that it was covering is still fully intact and is the same sort of gray that her other eye is. There is this sort of large burn scar all around it, though, that's mostly hidden by the eye patch. But she pulls the eye patch off, flips it around in her hand, and holds it up, so that both of you can see the insignia of the Inquisition on the inside of it.
For the two of you who are not familiar with the setting, the symbol that is revealed on the underside of this eye patch is a stylized letter I, emblazoned. This particular version is silver, and emblazoned on the center of it is a skull, and 3 crossbars underneath it, which is the universally recognized symbol of the Inquisition, which is the Emperor's secret police. They are the people who go wherever they need to and do whatever they need to root out the enemies of the Emperor, and they have absolute authority in all things. This is the symbol of an inquisitor's servant, not an inquisitor themselves. Those are, as most people are taught in whatever education they might have, black rather than silver.
You are to tell no one about the powers that I demonstrated during that battle, unless I explicitly allow it. Am I understood?
Yeah.
2 things. Actually, 3 things, one of them out of character. How am I doing now that on the medical roll?
You've recovered another wound. You're back to having 2 wounds left.
Okay. 2 things. 1, why the fuck would I tell anybody that anyways? How stupid do you think I am?
I don't know how stupid you are. Not yet.
Well, I'm associated with you lot, so pretty fucking dumb. And 2, fuck you.
Fair enough. Puts the eye patch back on. Though I haven't lied, except for my specific inquiry, we are here looking into these chaos cultists. Into these cultists of the enemy. Just wanted to make sure we understood each other.
We understood each other before that.
I'm still getting paid, right?
Of course.
My initial strategy was to blame the elf for all the wibbly wobbly.
You're getting paid or you're getting murdered in your sleep once this is all done so they can have deniability and nobody reveals their secrets.
That's just a lie.
It's 50-50.
Useful servants of the Inquisition are well compensated.
Let me
Please
reiterate.
stop Whatnot.
Let me reiterate. Fuck you.
He just raises the one visible eyebrow.
All right, ready? We should add seatbelts to this buggy.
Yes, I think that would be a good idea, Tina.
And and to reference,
I'll see what we can do when we get back.
Inquisitors, their agents less so, but Inquisitors in particular have vast resources because they have the authority to call on literally anything in the Imperium to their service if they need
For
to.
sure.
Which is
Yeah.
why the money that I throw around is good.
I have a
For
question.
sure, absolutely. But
On
why
that.
throw around the money when you can just kill off the people who nobody's gonna miss?
And that is another thing that most people
Like,
think about when they think of Inquisition.
Who
When they think
gives
about
a
it,
fuck?
that's another thing that is very common, like urban knowledge of how Inquisitors operate. Is they tend to kill people to keep them from talking.
I don't think Tina heard that, but would I have when or if this gets revealed, would that be a thing that Tina regards differently at all because of where like work
Yeah.
stuff or not?
Humans put a lot of importance on fancy titles.
Yep.
It's
Okay.
it's probably because they're not like they don't do a size-based hierarchy, which is stupid.
Mhm.
Like they don't differentiate by who's the biggest, so they all have to wear these fancy hats and fancy icons to say they're
Big
more
words
important.
instead. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's just another dumb way that humans organize themselves.
Okay. Cool.
I also I did the intention there was to have that conversation while Tina was fucking with the corpse stuff.
That's very fair.
And that also fulfills my objective.
Yep. I think she did notice though the
establish your
stuff
authority.
being flung about after the initial because you all kept doing psychic things.
Yeah.
But she's not going to say anything right now. That's not important.
You got a couple of weird boys in your crew.
Yeah.
You know, weird boys just show up every now and then.
You me weird boys.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I establish my authority using a symbol of office, which means I get a wrath back.
They just got to be careful or their heads might explode.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's what happens to weird boys when they use their powers too much anyway.
Yeah, but then their heads just grow back, so it's
No, their heads just explode and they die.
No, yeah, the head is important.
I'm gonna make that's our replacement character. Gorkin 2 heads. His head exploded, but then he grew back another one.
Whoa. I feel like that would be extremely lucky.
I was very
Look,
lucky.
if Tina had a tooth for every weird boy that she had in her... If Tina had a tooth for every weird boy she had in her party right now, she'd have 2 teeth. Which isn't a lot of teeth, but it's weird that it happened twice.
It just tells me that you're all exceptionally weird, which fair.
All right, let's get us back to an elevator so we can get out of this place.
Well, the buggy won't fit in the elevator.
There are elevators nearby that the buggy will fit on.
It'll fit in the freight elevator.
Oh.
The wobble as we roll over the corpse.
So
you have
Blair,
to back up and then like a 3-point turn situation. Anyway.
So Blair, now that the excitement has died down, and you're no longer being chased by an amble, which, goddamn, there were rumors that some of those existed on this planet, but you never hoped to run into one. You sort of come down from all of the excitement, and the realization hits you that you need a new hideout for the hostile hearts.
Mm-hmm. I know she was already thinking of that. Is there
you have some contacts and people that might be able to put your gang up for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
In particular, I mean, you'd owe her a favor, but you do have a history, and if anyone could theoretically put your gang up for a while or give them a new hideout entirely, Arvin Pyrrhus, of the leader of the Wastelanders, where your gang originally came from, or Avon Pyrrhus, might be able to do something for you.
All right.
That would require getting an audience with her, though.
Yeah, she will work on that as soon as they get up to the surface.
Does Blair talk about that at all to the people in the buggy?
No, you see her deep in thought. Like if you ask her, she will mention. But
Okay. How long is this trip, William?
It's gonna be a few hours. It's gonna be because you got to drive the elevator to. You got to drive the buggy to a freight elevator. Wait for it to rise away from the Undercity to a floor that you can actually do things on, and then go somewhere. Who knows where? Because currently your last hideout is gone.
Are we going back to the smoking crater?
Okay.
No.
We need to head. We should head back
sometime
up towards,
during the.
we should head back
sometime
towards,
during the.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm laggy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep.
Just to answer Tina's question, we should head back towards Aristarchus's facilities.
And then Aristarchus.
Yeah. Sometime during the trip back, Aristarchus would sort of, pick his way around the interior of this vehicle and try and lean over. Miss Blair, just wanted to say, magnificent feat of gunsmanship right at the end. You're even more impressive than I had previously anticipated. My congratulations.
thank you.
You are an impressive.
Regarding, you seem to be a bit lost in thought. Anything particular got you occupied at the moment?
I need a new hideout for my girls. That's my top priority right now. I need a temporary place before I can find a permanent place. I have some contacts.
I was gonna say, I know you. I know you're probably planning already.
Mm-hmm. Also, when we get back up there, she will say to Sarah, I need to do this first. I need to take care of my gang first.
That's fine. I've hired.
I don't know
on
how
that
long.
front then. Well, I was thinking, I could speak with the Magus Biologus if we're needing a roof over our heads. There's a chance I could put in for a writ of some sort. Look, there's not much Mechanicus presence down here in the Unhive from what I've seen, and personally, I would say that given the potentially fragile nature of the infrastructure, having that rectified might not be a bad idea. So I could see if the Magus would see fit to license a bit of a chapel expansion, shall we say. Maybe. I could at least ask.
I could assist with the asking as well.
Remy's gonna try to catch Blair's eye and just do a very subtle.
I need to contact someone or get an audience with someone when we get up there.
All right.
Oh, yes, I've hired your services. You are still free agents. So, what you have priorities on, you have priorities on.
I honestly wasn't sure.
Fair enough.
You didn't hire me.
No, you just sort of tagged along.
Uh-huh. I work for points at Blair.
What now?
Well, we have, our arrangement where I help you and you point me where there's going to be good fights like that one.
She just looks at Remy.
Yes,
to
she works for you, therefore she's in our faction of
Oh.
this little fucking group. I don't
so
say
to
that part.
to sort of iterate on what you're driving
Listen.
around in. By the way,
Uh-huh.
it's I put an image in the Wednesday crew chat. It's basically that, but slightly wider. There's a passenger seat instead of just one seat in it.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's essentially that.
Excellent. That is bugging. Yes.
Yep.
By the way, by the by, in case anybody was curious, during my fun little slide down, however many levels how many levels was it? How many floors did I fall
You
from?
don't know. You
No,
know
that's
you.
asking out in character.
Okay,
Did
yeah.
did I count as I was?
All of them.
We would know because we came down.
Tina, you tried to count as you're going down the elevator. As you were jumping down the slide.
Mhm.
1, 2,
3,
3,
4.
4. Lots.
Oh,
Lots.
Mm.
1,
2,
2,
3, 4, lots more lots,
Lots.
extra lots,
Big
super
lots.
Lot of a lot.
Big lots.
Big
Big
lots.
It is because of the nature of Imperial construction, it's very difficult to even count how many floors even someone who's paying attention on the elevator ride,
Mhm.
because floor becomes a
Is-
rough distinction at a certain point.
right.
Do they even have numbers on
I feel like-
Imperial elevators?
I feel like Aristarchus has a rough idea of the number of meters we went down
Yeah,
because he was doing
Aristarchus
calculations.
could probably say that the fall was several hundred meters.
Great.
Mhm.
So,
Yep. 300-400 meters.
anyways, after I did that fun little amusement ride, I landed, obviously, and our vandalizing, attempting to start a war fuckers were down there.
Hmm.
As in they did it.
I had my suspicions, but that has confirmed it.
Oh.
Did you learn anything new?
I mean, I'll be honest, I wasn't paying too much attention at the time. I wasn't. I was paying attention at the time when you were looking through the video, but I'm on a lot of painkiller right now, and the amount of me that's not on painkiller is really distracted by, pain. So my memory's a little foggy at the moment, but I mean, the dude.
Don't worry, Remy. We'll get you all stitched up once we get back to the medicus.
And you would think that would make me feel better. And yet. Anyways, the
Oh, it makes everybody feel better eventually.
sure. The one guy was clearly in charge. I'm trying to remember what I might remember from that.
You remember the guy's name is Tycho and the woman's name is Janaea.
But we already knew that.
You didn't know the woman's name before.
No. And no, I'm not sharing it yet.
Yes. Yes, Tycho seems to be traitor guardsman. Not quite sure the regiment yet, but actually no. Wait, did I identify the regiment or no?
No, it's
Yeah.
heavily modified.
Yeah, not quite sure the regiment yet. We were on our way to see if we could locate any sort of Imperial Guard records on planet when everything started to shake.
Gonna say, gonna be your place to start.
So, had the suspicion that they were behind it. Not sure why yet. Though, other than sparking unrest in order to increase their membership drive.
Oh, this has to be bigger than just a membership drive.
Mhm.
Well,
They
But-
tried to start conflict. They did what they did, what we saw above ground. And then they did this. Those are two unrelated things
well, no. You
that
see,
have a purpose behind them.
the more chaos, the more strife, violence, distrust that they sow, the more people that they draw into their particular cult, the more power they have to corrupt and take control.
Yeah, but they're doing that anyways. This isn't the cost to benefit ratio is not high enough for this. This is putting them on your radar. Even if you weren't here, this would be putting them on your radar. Your people's radar. And it's not going to draw that many more followers than what they would be doing slowly under the radar without anybody being fucking aware.
Maybe they've got a timetable.
Mara's gonna point out that there was something about a trap last time, but Tina wasn't at that conversation to hear it. There's some like bait.
yeah,
for a trap
Tycho
and,
mentioned
like-
something like there was a trap.
Yeah.
Somebody fell into a trap.
Mm-hmm.
Tycho mentioned that the graffiti that they were doing was some form of bait
Yes.
to someone.
I just wanted to make sure that was
No, that's true. That
Remembered.
is true. And if I had seen, because I believe I'd seen the recording.
Yeah, you
before.
saw that
Oh,
footage.
was
the
that
first
mentioned
time.
on the recording?
Yes,
Yeah, that was on the
Oh,
recording.
okay, got it.
So yeah,
but it was
they
talked about after the two of us peeled off.
that's not chaos. That's a plan. They're
Yeah.
doing something specifically.
Yes, they're trying to bait somebody or something. I'm not sure who yet.
To shake things up like this, probably something big.
Big fish.
Once-
Like this is kind of out of character-ish.
What else got damaged?
honestly, as far as what Aristarchus was mentioning on our way down, it didn't seem like much in the grand scheme of things.
In the grand scheme specifically, we're still talking like several dozen levels of Underhive and probably tens of thousands of lives.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which is a pittance compared to the rest
Yeah,
of
when
the
exactly-
hive.
when
That's
there
a
are
difference in perspective.
when there are several billion in the hive by itself, then yeah, but
Yeah.
This is there's something going on.
Something concentrated.
And something bigger, something we aren't seeing yet.
Well, hopefully
And
if
something
we
we should be worried about.
if we can
Big fight.
identify where Tycho where this Tycho where this Tycho deserted from, we might have a better idea as to what his goal is.
I mean, we just need to learn more about Tycho. We learn about Tycho. We learn about what his motivations are for leaving, and then that will help us figure out what his goals are.
Precisely. Also, we need to see if we can identify or learn anything more specific about the psyker that's working with him.
Absolutely.
But that requires us going higher where the records actually are. So, while understandably, Blair, if you wish no assistance in the matter, while you're working on relocating your girls, we'll head to the Medicaid Primaris and see what we can find in records
All right.
while patching
I
Remy
will
up.
go with I will heal.
Are you seriously
will be
going to
fine.
duct tape that and walk it off? I say, pointing to your broken arm.
Yes.
Aristarchus knows what he's doing.
As your supervisor
him
and
fix it.
physician, I would.
That's
I
everything
promise
goes quiet for a second.
It's going to be a lot
Time.
easier, a lot quicker, and get you back on your feet.
The more time I spend in your people's circles, the less good it's going to go for me. You've done a good job so far. You did the basics. I can heal up from here. I don't work well within law and order structures. Let's just put it that way.
Neither do I.
You're part of one. Don't try to say you're not.
She just has like this half smile that doesn't reach her eyes. That it's the kind of smile of someone that knows something you don't, and is basically not without vocalizing it, telling you you're full of shit. It's that smile.
Mm-hmm.
The annoying smile. Blair, do you want me to come with?
That is a wonderful offer, but I think that they're going to need some assistance. And you're more likely to get into a fight with them.
That is true.
Okay.
William, do I have any idea if they would let an orc through the doors of the Medicae Primaris?
Yeah, that's my question.
Not lightly. Like theoretically, with inquisitorial
Miss Blair.
with inquisitorial remit, maybe, but
No.
you don't exactly have an inquisitor on hand. You have an inquisitor's agent.
Right.
Like an inquisitor could absolutely be like, "This orc is with me. You are going to ignore it, and I'm going to do my job." An inquisitorial agent might get some pushback on that.
Yeah.
Miss Blair,
Appeared to be
it occurs to me
annoying.
that it might be helpful. It might be helpful if Tina here. I mean, I assume the entire gang isn't going to be accompanying you to your audience, but it might do the girls a bit of a solid to have some extra muscle on hand while you're otherwise occupied.
I think they're just fine. I think you guys need the extra muscle.
We don't. And also Tina's presence.
Well, we're going to be at the Medicae Primaris, which might be a bit exacerbating, inflammatory, incendiary, one might say.
I've got a flamethrower.
Also, if Remy is
Doubly incendiary.
if Remy is refusing medical
The
care,
defense rests, Miss Blair.
if Remy is refusing medical care, we don't actually need the buggy to continue on. We'll be faster on foot because elevators.
I lean in. We're not winning this fight.
Blair just shoots Aristarchus a death glare again. All right. Then Tina can come with us.
Okay. Oblivious. Happy to be here.
She will lean into Aristarchus and whisper, "I'll remember this for later."
Oh, I know your memory's quite well intact. I've never had I don't think I've ever treated you for any cranial traumas, unless I'm misremembering, which I never do.
So, once we're back above broken areas, Laurel, Aristarchus, and myself will continue on to the Medicae Primaris. The rest of you will go deal with the Hostel Hearts housing situation.
Great. Sounds like a plan.
And if the Magus does grant us writ for a new chapel, I'm certain you'll all be welcome to rest your heads there, should the need arise at any given point.
Right.
We're going to talk later, Aristarchus.
I look forward to it, Miss Blair. You've always been a delightful conversationalist.
So the elevator eventually deposits you in the upper levels of the Undercity. You're still not anywhere near the mid hive or the upper hive, but it's about as high as this elevator can go. And it puts you closer to those regions than you were previously. As opposed to being literally on the ground floor of the city, you are now probably about yay high, slightly above the previous location of the Hostile Hearts hideout.
So this is where we'll part ways. We have communications on both sides, so keep in contact with each other should the need arise. We'll let you know when we're heading back down.
All right. Good luck.
You as well.
She'll look at Aristarchus. Stay alive and don't make stupid choices.
Absolutely.
I will do my best to make sure he stays that way.
Thank you.
Let us know if you need any assistance, Blair.
I will.
You're a great shot, by the way.
Thank you.
Garrison at some point in all of this has disappeared for a bit, by the way.
Makes sense.
I'm not surprised.
That's comforting.
Well, let's go. We split up.
So, one group is heading up to the Medicae Primaris, another is heading to heading towards where exactly? Where are you and Remy and Tina headed?
First, okay.
And
That's
Layla, who I'm assuming someone is carrying.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, she would give her to Tina. Okay, first she wants to go to the former Hostile Hearts to see if any of her girls are still there or in that area, because she needs to try to round most of them up. And then she's going to try to get into contact with the Wastelanders, you said?
Yeah. So, as the group of the as our group of protagonists splits into two different directions, with one group journeying up into the higher echelons of imperial society to rejoin the greater organizational structure of the Imperium, to attempt to pull it to their ends and gather information, and another remains in the underbelly of the Hive City, away from the laws of the Imperium, to seek out allies and potentially new arrangements for the Hostile Hearts. That's where we're going to end for the week.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.